Joshua is a significant figure within the Hebrew Scriptures, an example of unswerving faith, loyal obedience to Jehovah, and courageous leadership. He emerges in the narrative of the Israelites not only as Moses' trusted aide, but also as the man appointed by Jehovah to guide the nation of Israel after Moses' death, leading them into the Promised Land. His life story, as recorded primarily in the Bible books of Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and especially Joshua, provides many lessons about complete reliance on divine direction and the rewards of steadfast endurance. According to Jehovah's Witnesses' understanding, Joshua was born in Egypt and lived through the tumultuous period when the Israelites were oppressed under Pharaoh. He would have experienced the miraculous events associated with the Exodus, events that demonstrated Jehovah's supreme power and covenant loyalty. Early on, Joshua distinguished himself as a man of faith and courage. For example, when Moses needed a military leader to oppose the Amalekites shortly after the Exodus, Joshua took up the challenge. Later, as one of the 12 Israelite spies sent to investigate the land of Canaan, he, along with Caleb, demonstrated exceptional trust in Jehovah's promises by urging the people not to fear the inhabitants of the land. This bold stand set him apart as a man who not only understood Jehovah's will but also had the courage to uphold it, even in the face of widespread doubt and panic among his own people. Jehovah's Witnesses underscore that Joshua's faith was not blind zeal but rather built on his personal observation of Jehovah's dealings with Israel, both his delivering power and his strict expectations for holiness and obedience. When Moses' time as leader drew to a close, Jehovah himself named Joshua as his successor. This was a profound endorsement. Under divine guidance, Moses commissioned Joshua in front of all Israel, so that the people would realize that Joshua's authority did not stem from personal ambition, but from Jehovah. This continuity of leadership, they believe, was crucial to maintaining the unity and spiritual direction of the nation. As the newly appointed leader, Joshua's first great test came when the Israelites stood on the threshold of the Promised Land. The narrative that Jehovah's Witnesses accept as historically accurate shows Jehovah instructing Joshua to be courageous and strong, and to read in the book of the law day and night. For Jehovah's Witnesses, this counsel highlights that Joshua's success depended not on his own human prowess, but on adhering closely to Jehovah's word, meditating on divine principles, and acting in harmony with them. Under Joshua's direction, the Israelites crossed the Jordan River, an event Jehovah's Witnesses often cite as emphasizing Jehovah's active support. The river's waters were miraculously held back, just as the Red Sea had parted for Moses' generation. Once across, Joshua led a series of campaigns that systematically took Canaan. One of the best-known episodes, as explained by witnesses, is the fall of Jericho. Joshua followed Jehovah's unusual battle instructions to the letter. Rather than rushing the city with force, the Israelites marched silently around the city walls once each day for 6 days, and on the 7th day, they marched around 7 times before shouting and blowing their horns. The walls collapsed by divine intervention, and Jericho was captured. Jehovah's Witnesses often highlight this event to illustrate how blessings come from patient obedience to Jehovah's instructions, even when those instructions might seem puzzling or contrary to conventional logic. The book of Joshua also recounts the allocation of the conquered lands among the tribes of Israel. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that this arrangement fulfilled Jehovah's long-standing promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The narrative demonstrates Joshua's meticulous adherence to Jehovah's guidance in the distribution of territory. He aimed to ensure fairness and to respect tribal inheritances. For modern readers, Jehovah's Witnesses see in Joshua's actions qualities worth imitating: fairness, honesty, and concern for what is divinely approved rather than what might be personally advantageous. Another aspect Jehovah's Witnesses emphasize is that Joshua was not just a military commander or a political figure. He was a spiritual leader who continually reminded the people to remain faithful. Near the end of his life, Joshua famously assembled the nation and delivered a powerful farewell speech. In it, he reviewed Jehovah's righteous acts on behalf of Israel, stressed the importance of exclusive devotion to Jehovah, and famously challenged the people: "Choose for yourselves today whom you will serve." As Jehovah's Witnesses explain, this was not just ancient history but a timeless spiritual principle. Genuine worship and faithfulness must be a conscious, personal choice. Joshua's own resolve set the standard: "As for me and my household, we will serve Jehovah." This statement is often cited by witnesses as a model for family heads and believers who strive to maintain fidelity to God's standards amidst a variety of religious and moral influences. In terms of symbolism, Jehovah's Witnesses see Joshua's name, essentially the same as Jesus, in Hebrew, Yehoshua, meaning Jehovah is salvation, as more than a coincidence. They note that just as Joshua led the Israelites into the Promised Land, Jesus Christ leads faithful Christians into a fuller, spiritual, Promised Land, the hope of everlasting life. While they do not teach that Joshua was a type or prophetic picture of Jesus in a direct, doctrinally binding sense, they do draw parallels in terms of faithful leadership, trust in Jehovah, and the bringing of Jehovah's people into a state of true spiritual rest. Please share and like and please subscribe.